Wouldn't it be fantastic if with a single click of a button or the tap of a screen, you could turn an overwhelming list of unclear things that may or may not need to be done today into a highly focused list of things that must be done today? I mean, just think of the procrastination that's going to instantly disappear. No more scrolling, just a list of things that must be done today. Well, Apple Reminders can do that for you with something called Smart Lists. So what are Smart Lists? Well, Smart Lists essentially is exactly what it says in the label. It's a smart list. Now, that means that you can create lists to show you specific types of information based on tags, based on dates, based on projects or the list that you have in your sidebar. You can create them from pretty much anything you want to show. And they're really easy to set up in Reminders. But before we can set up Smart Lists, I always recommend that you do a little bit of homework, because the most powerful way to get Smart Lists working for you is to use the tags. And to set up tags, we need to do that first so that we can then create some amazing smart lists. I'm going to show you on my iPad how to set up those or add tags right now. So let's start with my inbox, because I've got two random tasks in here that actually have nothing other than the task itself. So let's say read through book. What kind of task is that? So if I tap on the task, I will then get the access to the information sidebar. Now, I prefer to work from the information sidebar because it slows me down. Now, when I'm processing a task, I like to be slowed down because it gives me an opportunity to take those few extra seconds to think about what a task is, rather than just grabbing it and throwing it into my system with a random date, and then it just gets lost in the mess. So I'm going to hit the I button over on the right, and that's going to give me a number of options. Now I can add some notes, I can add the URL, I can add a date, and I can add a time. But if you go down to the bottom there, or in the middle there, I should say, you've got tags. I'm going to tap that. Now, if I tap on that, that's going to give me, well, the 4 tags I have set up at the moment, which is admin, communications, projects, and writing. But this one is neither of those. So I'm going to create a new tag where it says add new tag. I'm going to put in self. And now the thing is, you can't put 2 words. It has to be a single word. So I'm going to put an underbar, and then I'm going to put development, because reading a book for me would be development. Hit return, and now I have self-development tag in there. I can now click done and click done again, and you'll see underneath the tag task now, it says self-development. Review VA requirements. Now that's linked to a note, which is, if I tap on the note, that will take me to my virtual assistant requirements list. But I want to go back to the reminders. I'm going to tap on that again. You'll see that the I button appears. Now it's got no tags. Now my virtual assistant requirements is part of a project. So I'm going to tap on that, and I'm going to go into my tags, and you'll see that I already have a tag called project. So I'm just going to tap that. That adds in. I can now come out of that and click done, and you'll see underneath that projects is there. So that's now given me my task. Now the only thing I need to do is decide when am I going to do these tasks. So really all I'm going to say is, well, I think with my read through book that must be done this week, so I'm going to move that into my this week. Now the thing is, when I go into my any task, for those of you who've done the time sector system, you know the rules here. Anything that's in your today list needs to have a date, or this week list needs to have a date. So I'm just going to add a date here. I'm going to put the date, click on the date. I'm going to call that today. It's done and it's in. Pick up prescription. That's another one that's not there. Now, what is that? Now, picking up prescription is going to be an errand. And I want to show you another way of getting tasks into, adding tags into reminders. If I just click the hashtag here, I can put errands. Now, I don't have an errands tag at the moment, so if I hit return, now it's added an errand. So I can now add a date to this, and again, I'm going to go into the I button. I'm going to call this date. Well, it's actually already done for today. That's coming in my this week folder. So I've added the date today. So if you look at all these tasks in here, they're all scheduled for today, and they've all got a tag. So we've got self-development, we've got errands, we've got writing, communications, and projects. So all of these tasks are in here. Now, if I were to go into my list of all tasks, this is going to be quite overwhelming. It's like, oh God, this is all, just, there's a lot of stuff there. For me, 19 tasks in one day, chances of that happening are very slim. So I want a way of being able to just get these down. So we look at some of these. I've got another one here where I can see I've got errands. So I can just type errands, and that's been added. I can go down all of these lists and get them all done. So if I long press on that, I can go into tags right there and tap on errands. I can go through all of these and just add my errands. So I've done that, save us time. We don't need to go through all of those. Now, what we're going to do, we need to create a smart list. And now this is where we go into the bottom. So if you notice at the bottom here, I'm just going to move this to the side. If you notice at the bottom, it says add list. So we're going to add the list. I'm going to call this today's work, because really that's all I need. I need to just see my work for today. Now I can change the icon by clicking on I can change the color. Now normally for me, I use orange for my work tasks, and I can choose any of these glyphs down here for this particular one. So I'm just going to use the big office building just for now, and that's it. So I've now created its own unique, if you like, icon for my sidebar. Now, what type of list am I creating? So if I just tap on that, I'm going to tap Smart List. And now I can move into Edit Filters. So here, I need to look at a couple of things. The most important thing is include reminders matching all of these filters. Now, this is really important. If you say some of these filters, you're going to get everything that might be tagged work. So it's all of these filters. So we're going to tap on filters. I'm going to say selected tags. Now, anything related to work, so admin, communications, projects, and writing for me would be related to work. So those are the ones I'm going to collect. The date I want to do for today. Anything that is dated for today. So if you go back to the top here, let's look, include reminders matching all of these filters. The other option you have is any, but I want all. So all filters. Any tag selected, so that's admin, communications, projects, and writing. Self-development for me would be a personal thing. And date has to include today. Now, the thing is, we're not actually perfect human beings, are we? We tend to have a few tasks that may be overdue, things that we may not have done when we probably should have done. So you see a button down at the bottom which says include past due dates. I'm going to turn that on because I'm not perfect. I don't do all my tasks every single day. So they are in. Now there are other things that you can do. You can also add tasks or reminders with a flag, a priority, and come from a specific list. I'm not going to do that. I want this to show me anything related to my admin, my communications, projects, and writing. So I'm going to click done, and I'm going to click done. Now, if I go into now looking at this, I've got my today's work down there at the bottom. This is showing me only the tasks that are due today that have one of those 3 or 4 tags. It's taken my list of 18 things, for example, and now turned them into just 5 things. That's all I need to focus on today. Now, let's go into another one, and another one that you can create is today's personal, for example. I'm just giving, so I'm just going to personal, let's choose, I always use blue by the way, so I'm just going to make that into a person. Again, we go down, create a smart list, and I'm going to edit the filters. Again, I'm going to go to my tags, so selected tasks, and I'm going to go self-development, and errands would be my personal stuff for today. Of course, this is today's personal, so I'm going to hit today. And I'm going to also, of course, include past due. That's it. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. So I'm going to click done and done again. And now I have today's personal tasks. So what I've done is, if you think about it, if I look at my schedule for today, I've got 18 tasks. This is going to be like, it's a bit overwhelming to look at when you go into the morning. However, I'm thinking, right, now I'm at work. I need to be doing work, today's work. Suddenly those 18 tasks have been stripped down to those 5 work tasks. Now, let's imagine it's lunchtime. I'm thinking, right, okay, it's lunchtime. I've got an hour's break. Let's switch to my personal. And now these are things I see there. Oh, right, yes, I've got to pick up my prescription. I've got time to call into the pharmacy, so let's go and pick that up. Oh, I've got to clean up my office. You know, I can see these things right now, and immediately I'm out of my work mode, I'm into my personal mode. And now I can go back to my work mode because it's the afternoon and finish off these tasks. And that's essentially how you can use smart lists. Now, if you remember right at the very beginning, I suggested that I'm going to show you a really, really good trick that you can use when you're doing time blocking. And that comes back down to the tags that you're using. One of the reasons why most people find time blocking difficult is because they're micromanaging it. They're trying to manage every minute of the day. Now that's not possible because all you need is one meeting to overrun and now your whole day is destroyed. The idea with time blocking is if I go into my calendar, you can see that I've got focus time, focus time, focus time. The key to this is to match your focus time with your tags. So let's go back into my reminders and looking down at the tags. So I've got admin, communications, errands, projects, self-development and writing. So go back to the calendar. See already that I've got a communication time at the bottom and I've got an admin time as well down there as well. So essentially I have got, if we go back to reminders, my time blocks are matching my tags. So that calendar that you just saw there is the calendar that is a demo calendar. So it's not quite set up exactly as I would like it. But what you'll notice is I've got admin time, I've got communication time, and I've got writing time. These are matching the labels that I have in reminders. So that means that all I need to do when I see a focus block time for writing, I can just tap on my writing list right there, and I've got one writing task. Now I can tap out of that. I'm going to go into my communication time and now I can just see all the communications that I need to do. Now this isn't a smart list per se because this is just using the tags to match your smart list, but you can, if you're doing a lot of like focused work, you could create a tag, for example, called focused work, today's focus work. So when you see a 2-hour block called focus work, you can get straight into it and start doing that. That's an amazing trick because it means that reminders and calendar are working together to help you get the most important work done each day. Now, if you want to learn more about setting up reminders for what I call the time sector system, then this video up here is the one to watch next.